American Penguin Books and Signet Books. Hi, I'm Gary Lovisi, and this time we're going to take a look at the books that were paperbacks that were published during the pre-vintage era, before pocketbooks came out with their series in the United States in 1938, 1939. Before that time, there was a long history of paperback books published throughout the world, actually. In the United States, and in England, you had dime novels and penny dreadfuls and things like that in the 1800s. But you also had in Europe, you had Tauchnitz Books, which were began in 1840. Baron Tauchnitz was a German publisher who published basically British and American authors in English, and they were distributed throughout the continent. Basically for people on holiday, people traveling from Europe and from England and from the United States, so they could buy in a train station or for on-board ship a book that they could read in English, and they were available on the continent of Europe. So Tauchnitz was in operation from 1840 until around 1940, around the wartime period. Interestingly enough, a young man named Kurt Enoch, around 1931, saw the Tauchnitz books, and he really liked them. And here's two of the Tauchnitz ones. They were all numbered. There's probably thousands of them. This is volume 4562 from September 1921. Jungle Tales of Tarzan. This is volume number 4923 from May 1930, The Emperor of America by Sax Rohmer. So here you have two books by very, very collectible authors, Edgar Rice Burroughs and Sax Rohmer, in the Tauchnitz editions. And basically they continued this same design. None of the Tauchnitz editions had illustrations. Some of them had different text size and designs on the cover, but they were all basically the same non-illustrated cover versions. And what happened was Kurt Enoch, around 1931, saw these books and he said, you know, these would be a nice book to publish also in Germany and throughout the continent. And he decided to start his own publishing company. This is a later one from 1947. But this is what they looked like. This is Dyed in the Woolnego Marsh, Albatross Books. So Kurt Enoch founded Albatross Books, and they were same design with the albatross on them, different colors for different crime books and for other topics. And they were this one actually has an albatross card in it with it. This is from 1947. This is a later one, but they still had the same design. Albatross Modern Continental Library. So you had Tauchnitz and Albatross in the 1930s were available in train stations, especially for travelers, and at ship, people that would take travel by ship to different countries. And if they were coming to the continent, you want to read, or leaving from the continent, you'd want to read a book in English, and these books were available in English in Germany, France, and throughout Europe. It was really a nice concept. There were some other publishers that did the same thing, but Tauchnitz and Albatross were the major ones. Interesting thing is you can see the Albatross logo, the flying bird, which what happens then is around 1935, Alan Lane goes to the continent, and he sees Albatross Books, and he thinks, you know, this would be a handy-dandy idea to bring these back to Britain and publish them, books like this. So what he did was he founded Penguin Books, and instead of the Albatross logo, he has the penguin, but they had a similar style, color cover, usually green for mysteries and other colors for different topics of stories. And all the covers were also just text with the author and title and author name. There was no illustration other than this little logo. So then you had the Penguin books. Now, what happened after that? Penguin books started in 1935 in England, in the UK, and they were very popular. Alan Lane continued the books, and he hired a guy named Ian Ballantyne, who was working for him. And eventually Ian Ballantyne was sent to the United States. Ian was also, that's where he met his wife Betty, and Ian and Betty Ballantyne were married, they were husband and wife. Ian came to the United States, and he was ran the New York branch of Penguin Books for Alan Lane. And he published Penguin books in the United States, which were different from the British because he recognized the importance of illustrated covers, especially since he noticed the American books, the pulp magazines and things like that. So he recognized the power of illustration. And throughout their lives, Ian and Betty Ballantyne were always fans of great artists, great illustrators. They did books on illustrators. They did, in the 70s, they did the books on Frank Frazetta's artwork. So they were very cognizant of the importance and the beauty of illustrated illustrations on paperback books and how beautiful the books would be with illustrations on them. So they published various American Penguin books in the 40s. And here's a few of them. Stealthy Terror, Penguin Mystery by John Ferguson. And again, they have the Penguin logo. So it's Penguin books, but these are out of New York. The back cover lists 25-cent mysteries, others in the series. The ones that I have are mostly mysteries, but they published various ones. They published American Penguins were numbered from 600 to 659, and then they became something else, Penguin-Signets, which we'll get to in a bit. You have number 515, The Continental Agent by Graham Greene. Another Penguin spy. You have The Blind Barber by John Dixon Carr. This is number 528. And this is the first Penguin printing. It's from 1943. Now they go to the short size, so you can see they're a little shorter in size. Same thickness, but a little shorter. Same back cover listing other Penguin mysteries for a quarter. Really, really nice artwork, drawn artwork. You can see that they weren't going into full color illustrations and paintings right away. They were using line drawing illustration, which also black and white, which has a certain power to it. They're using the Penguin colors, the green and the red, the Penguin logo. But Ian Ballantyne was doing a little bit different. And because of that, he and Alan Lane didn't get along. They had a lot of conflicts, a lot of difficulties. Alan Lane hated the idea of illustrations on the covers of Penguin books. And this is 531, Drawn Conclusion. Another Penguin mystery. I really like these. I really like the artwork, the line drawing artwork. It's just got a certain power to it. The black and white really kind of stands out. And this book sold very well. And you know, it's good that they did. This is number 532. This is Hag's Nook, another mystery by John Dixon Carr. Number 524 is Black Plumes by Marjorie Ellingham. You can see the impact that these covers have, these drawings. I mean, they just, when you compare them to the, say, the Albatross books or the early British Penguins. British Penguins are very nice, but these have a special charm to them and more of an impact, I think, with the art. Another one is a very popular author back in the day was Frank Gruber. This is The Laughing Fox, the murder mystery. Francis Betting, number 544, is The 10 Holy Horrors. I don't know, this is red, but it's really mystery, murder mystery kind of crime novel. Here's the back cover. Choice Entertainment. Murders in 2 volumes. Elizabeth Daly was number 549, and this is from 1944. So these are during the war years. There were other books that Penguin published during the war years, Infantry Journal and books that were special for servicemen, but these are the ones I'm just showing now. Here are the mystery ones with the illustration cover art. And then you have, they're getting a little bit more. This is 552, Murder in Trinidad by John W. Vandercook. A little bit more to the illustration art. Rather than the line drawing, they're getting more to kind of a painting-like a look. So that was those were the early Penguin books up to about 1945 or so, when Ian Ballantyne was running Penguin, and then he left Penguin in 1945. And after that time, Penguin continued. I'm going to move these up and I'll show you some others that they changed the format a little bit, and they all became tall-sized books with some of the cover art is by Robert Jonas. This is number 600, Montana Rides by Evan Evans. And you see they had the Penguin style was kind of changing, it's evolving away from what Alan Lane had. You can see Great Murder Stories. This is number 655. A true crime anthology, different writers. Robert Jonas cover, signed it over there. And then you see number 684, which is Dead Reckoning from 1946 by Francis Bonhomie. And here you see again, it's moving away. They still use the Penguin logo, it's Penguin Books, but it's becoming more Americanized, and it will become more and more Americanized as the few years continue. So the other books in the series. These are the early Penguin tall size. About this period lasted a few years, and at some point, Penguin, American Penguin, the New York branch of the British Penguin Books, they became had a new owner. They had 2 owners, Victor Wainwright and the other fellow who was the partner in the business was Kurt Enoch, the same Kurt Enoch that we mentioned earlier, who in 1931 in Germany saw the Tauchnitz Books and created Albatross Books. And he created Albatross Books in Germany and throughout Europe, but then when the Nazis came into power and the World War II was gearing up, he left Germany. He was forced to leave Germany, actually. He came to America, and he was still active in the publishing business. And at this point, with Victor Wainwright, Kurt Enoch founded what would become Signet Books, or New American Library. That was in 1948. But they still had Penguin Books. There's another later Penguin, 579 from 1946, and it's The Patience of Marguerite by Simenon. Nice classic crime book. Then you had a period where Wainwright and Enoch wanted to transform Penguin into their new company, Signet, a New American Library. So for a while, there were books that came out as Penguin-Signets. And one of them is number 657, Desire Me by Leonhard Frank. And you can see that. So now it's, if you notice on the bottom, it's a Penguin-Signet book. And actually, Signet is in the, the large size print. That's the predominant name, where Penguin is kind of like, It's kind of a Penguin, but it's a Signet. So it's Signet books. And you'll see here on some of the popular crime books, number 670, They Shoot Horses, Don't They, by Horace McCoy. Again, Penguin Signet books. And the back cover is shows you a picture of the author. Very similar. So you have Penguin Signet books. And the Penguin Signets ran from 660 to 661. And then after that, they just became Signet books. And these are the Signet books which we are more familiar with these days. Early Signet books. This is 933, Southways by Erskine Caldwell. And on the back cover, picture of photo of the author. And you really don't see any more reference to Penguin books. Penguin has been kind of replaced by Signet and the New American Library, and their kind of proletarian motto, which was good books for the millions. So they always wanted to be able to publish good books, kind of in keeping with Alan Lane's, feelings on publishing good works of fiction and good books to begin with. So they had good books for the millions. I mean, good. I can't read or sit down. I have the glasses on. Good reading for the millions. But it was translating into good books for the millions, which was their proletarian type of aspect of selling good books, which they wanted to, which they took pride in. They took a great pride in. Kurt Enoch took a lot of pride in doing a lot of the books that were important. Number 1036 is Death in the Fifth Position by Edgar Box. And that's, of course,
it'll come to you.
Yeah, come to me.
Somebody good.
Anyway, these were written in the kind of a Spillane style. Again, you see that the full painted covers, Avadi covers, others, good girl art is coming into effect at this time. Gore Vidal, of course, was Edgar Box, because I see it in the next book. This is number 1003, Dangerous Voyage, and that's by Gore Vidal. So this is Gore Vidal too. So you see now that we've come kind of full circle from when Kurt Enoch started Albatross Books in the 30s. Albatross Books led to Alan Lane creating Penguin Books. Penguin Books in the UK led to his having Ian Ballantyne start the New York office of Penguin Books and publish Penguin Books in America. That led to eventually Kurt Enoch and Victor Waybright, and Kurt Enoch came back, and they took Penguin Books and transformed it into Signet Books and the New American Library. And it's kind of a interesting, I think, segue on how American paperbacks, this part of American paperback history grew and became an important factor in publishing in the United States, especially with paperbacks. And I hope that you enjoyed this look at this kind of pre-vintage and vintage era history. And I want to thank all of you also. We've just gotten over 1,000 subscribers, and I want to thank you all for subscribing. And please do subscribe if you haven't, and continue to share these videos with friends who would be enjoy this material. And thanks a lot, and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.